Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to touch on certain issues which has been raised by two gentlemen. The issue of 1 trillion ringgit Malaysia have been siphoned to Malaya. The former Law Minister, Dato Zaid Ibrahim, and Senator Dato Robert Lau both raised questions. Where did the trillions of ringgit in oil and gas revenue gone to? I also ask. You also ask, yeah? Evidence points to Petronas Profit being centralized to Kuala Lumpur. Much of this alleged flow into certain political account to maintain political dominance in Malaya. How true it was, unless a forensic audit report be made. While funds were siphoned off Sarawak federal allocation under the former late Tun Taib, 33 years of ruling in Sarawak, I didn't say there is some any mismanagement, but there may be some elements resulting in white elephants project, crony enrichment, and weak rural development. Meaning, Sarawak not only lost its rightful share of petroleum wealth, but also saw what little was allocated wasted. The hard truth, this is why Sarawak lagged behind in its infrastructure, health care education, digital connectivity, despite being resource rich. The RM 1 trillion figure is not just about numbers, it represents schools not built, hospitals underfunded, villages left behind, and many others. You know, I know. Are we still paloi? The words I want to borrow, they are being normally said by our Sarawak Premier to let the history repeat itself. Will we continue to accept being treated as a colony while our wealth props up federal power politics? Saudara, shall we then demand full disclosure of Petronas account and its historical revenue allocation? We push for Sarawak oil and gas sovereignty under MA 63 and the state law. I had repeatedly in the past to call upon the state government to pass a special enactment on MA 63 in the Dewan Undangan Negeri, Sarawak. Build a mechanism to prevent internal mismanagement, not to repeat the era of kleptocracy of the past. Channel Sarawak wealth into two Sarawakian. First, i.e. in education, which they are doing at the moment, in digital economy, rural transformation, healthcare, and jobs opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, I fully agree with both gentlemen that the Royal Commission of Investigation, RCI, be formed to unveil the money trail of the profits as claimed. Established under the Commission of Inquiry Act 1950, can be formed by Yang di-Pertuan Agong upon advice of the Cabinet. Will PMF be willing to do that? He said there is no corruption, no this, no that. But prove to us. Yeah, prove to us. This case will refer to, can be investigated by the RCI. The advantage of having RCI, it has a broader mandate that examine governance, policy failures, mismanagement, and political accountability beyond corruption alone. Powers to summon witnesses. We have few witnesses here alive today. Yeah, for example, Tun Mahathir, Tengku Razali, and few others. Compare testimony and access documents, public hearing, provide transparency and enhance public trust. Final report submitted to the King with potential recommendation for reform, restitutions, or prosecutions. Having done that, the report either handed to AGC or MACC to investigate who are the culprits responsible siphoning our wealth. However, saudara, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, just a friendly reminder to both states leaders Sarawak and Sabah to apply good governance and shall be accountable if any mismanagement prevail of the state fund in the past or in the near future. I have to conclude this, my dear Sarawakian and Sabahan. Let me remind you that this land is not just a soil beneath our feet. It is a sacred heritage of our ancestor bestowed by God, rich with black gold, gas, forests, and bountiful seas. For far too long, the wealth of our land has flowed outside, enriching others, while our own people still struggling for prosperity and justice. Now is the time for us to stand, to open our eyes, heart, and to ensure that every drop of oil, every inch of our land, every resource of our nature is controlled by the people for this land themselves. Never again shall we allow our rights to be sold off or leased away in the name of development that benefits outsiders. It is our duty, your duty, is a combined duty to ensure Sarawak and Sabah are not mere spectators on their own soil, but rightfully masters of all natural resources and treasures of our own land. For the sake of our future generation, ladies and gentlemen, for the honor of our own people, these resources must be protected, defended, used for prosperity for our own. Therefore, I just conclude and I leave it to you. Either you listen to me or you don't. You have your own, opinion. Yeah, you may be right. I may be wrong. But however, to end, just give your comment, like, share, and subscribe.